What's going on, everybody? Coach Terrence here, and I am back to talk to you a little bit more about intermittent fasting. Let's just get beyond the diet hype, shall we? Let's unpack intermittent fasting. Now, let's face it, we live in a world that's saturated with diet trends, but one eating pattern has consistently captured the attention for its very simplicity and potential health benefits. That pattern that's been around for generations, intermittent fasting or IF. Far from being a diet in traditional sense, IF is more accurately disguised in an eating schedule that cycles between periods of eating and voluntary fasting. It's not about what you eat, ladies and gentlemen, but when you eat. And for many people, this fundamental shift can unlock a bunch of positive changes. Okay, let's talk the core concept, right? Metabolic switch. At its heart, intermittent fasting, works by engaging your body to switch its primary fuel source. This is what I love. When we regularly consume food, our bodies primarily run on glucose, sugar from carbohydrates. However, what's happening after a period of not eating, typically 12 to 6 hours, our bodies deplete that glucose reserves and begin to burn stored fat for energy. Now, this is what we call the metabolic shift, known as metabolic shifting, which is believed to be where many of IF benefits stem from. Now, for some popular approaches to intermittent fasting, just know there isn't a one size fits all approach to IF. There are several popular methods catered to different lifestyles and preferences. Now, one of the main ones is the 6-8 method. This is the time restricted eating. This perhaps the most adopted method, right? You fast for 16 hours a day and restrict your eating to only an 8-hour window. Now, for many people, this means skipping breakfast, and you know y'all don't like doing that, and having a first meal around 12 o'clock and finishing by dinner by 8 p.m. The second one, and try to remember, the 5-2 diet. With this approach, you eat normally for 5 days of the week, and then you restrict your calorie intake to 500 to 600 calories on 2 consecutive days, ladies and gentlemen. The third one, eat, stop, eat. Now, this involves a full 24-hour fast twice a week. For example, for dinner, one day to dinner the next day. It's just as simple as that. 4, alternate day fasting. This method involves alternating between days of normal eating and days of significant calorie restriction, around 25% of your usual intake, okay? Now, it got some potential benefits like beyond the weight loss. While weight loss is a common driver for intermittent fasting, there's a lot of research being done on a broader range for potential health advantages, right? So when we talk about weight management, by naturally shortening our eating window, right? Many people find that they're consuming fewer calories overall, leading to overall fat loss. Now, number 5, improve insulin sensitivity. Fasting can reduce insulin levels, making your body more responsive to insulin and potentially lowering the risk of type 2 diabetes. And I wish I would have known that when I was sick with diabetes. Now, 7, cellular repair or autophagy, which I like. During fasting, cells initiate a housekeeping process called autophagy, where they remove waste products and dysfunctional components, potentially contributing to longevity and disease prevention. Now, the 7th one that I came up with, heart health. Some studies indicate that IF can improve markers of heart health, such as blood pressure, cholesterol levels, and triglycerides. Okay, let's talk about the brain health for IF. Primary research suggests that if that IF may support brain health, potentially improving memory and cognitive function. Right? These are all important. Number 9, inflammation reduction. Chronic inflammation is linked to various diseases, as IF has shown to promote and reducing inflammation markers in the body. Now, let's talk about the important considerations when it comes down to IF or intermittent fasting. Despite its growing popularity, intermittent fasting is not for everyone. Now, it's important that you consult with your primary healthcare professional before making significant dietary changes, especially if you have underlying health conditions like diabetes. Let me point that out. Low blood pressure or a history of eating orders, right? Even if you are pregnant or breastfeeding women, and children should also avoid intermittent fasting. The initial side effects, what you're going to experience when you start it, is hunger, headaches, fatigue, and irritability are some of your known body adjustments, but they often go away with time. Trust me, I know this, right? So, the quality of the food consumed during the eating window remains very important. This is very paramount, the quality of food. When it comes down to intermittent fasting, as a timing strategy, not an excuse to indulge in unhealthy processed foods. Okay, just keep that in mind. Focusing on nutrient-dense whole foods is essential for maximizing your benefits and maintaining overall health. Now, ladies and gentlemen, intermittent fasting offers a compelling approach to improving health and leveraging our body's natural metabolic processes. When we start to approach mindfully and professionally with professional guidance, it can be a powerful tool for weight management and enhancing our overall well-being, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, now that's my take on intermittent fasting, because I made this video because a couple of days ago I made a post saying that 70% of Americans are obese in this country, and they still are consuming foods 3 to 6 times a day. And a few people, they came for me in the comments not knowing what I was saying. Now I hear what you guys were saying, that you should not eat that little time of a day, or fasting is not for everybody. Yes, I understand that, but the post wasn't about that. I commented under it about the importance of purposefully fasting. Okay, that's different from, or you just doing it for whatever. No, you're purposely fasting for all the reasons I just mentioned before. Now, if you have underlying health issues like I just mentioned 30 seconds ago, then no, fasting is not for you, or intermittent fasting for you. However, if you feel like intermittent fasting is something that you love to do, like me, at first I was just like, no, it's a fad diet. But when I did my research and I started getting into it spiritually, I realized over time that this is a beautiful thing. This works for me. Now, I had to unlearn a lot of things that I learned when it comes down to eating 4 to 6 meals a day, never skipping meals, don't skip breakfast. Is all hogwash, right? As far as I'm concerned. If you love doing it, you can do it. But eating that many times for me caused me to gain weight and cause my insulin to spike constantly every time I eat. Because every time you eat, it's going to spike your insulin, right? So that hunger pain, or the irritability and the frustration and the hangriness that you're feeling when you start intermittent fasting, you're going to go through that. That's the switch. You're going to go through that. Someone said, don't let your sugar drop. I'm like, man, I got to eat something. Give me some juice. Give me some hard candy. And I was so afraid of not letting my sugar drop and crashing out. But after I start to push myself even more, even further for intermittent fasting, my body started to adapt. I don't get the hunger pains no more. I don't get the irritability. I don't get the frustration. I don't get the shakes anymore. I don't get the headaches anymore. And I do it all depends on how I feel. Sometimes I might be on a 16-8. Sometimes I do 24 to 24. Eat, stop, eat. It doesn't matter. It all depends on how I feel, what my mood is, right? I had my last meal an hour ago, so I won't eat again probably about the 2 to 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. And that's how I work. I feel great about that. That works for me. So if you are on the fence about intermittent fasting, then this is perfect for you to educate yourself on that. But I must say, if you are not hungry, then do not eat. Why are you eating? Why are you grazing if you're not hungry? Your mind is conditioned. And a lot of times, people are late night snacking, they're grazing. You're not hungry, you're grazing. So you constantly spike your insulin levels and you're constantly increasing the amount of calories that you're consuming. Now, for me, I love to do intermittent fasting when I'm working out in the morning. It's a great way to help burn off those calories and have my body burn off that fat. I'm at an athletic uh, body composition right now, and I'm doing great. I used to be obese, and I used to be diabetic on top of that. So finding something like intermittent fasting worked for me since 2014, 2024, excuse me, when I started going really hard and getting committed with it. It started to work for me. I recommend that if anybody who is looking to do something different, of course. But once again, consult with your doctor. If it's a good fit for you, then go ahead by all means do it. But I want to do this quick video to talk about intermittent fasting, what it is, the benefits of it, the pros and cons of it, and the setbacks of it. Okay, so just tap into it, do your research, man, before you start attacking. And I understand how you guys may be feeling, but you take things too far and not knowing what I'm trying to say. Okay, so I'm Coach Terrence. I hope this really helps you guys when it comes down to intermittent fasting and how you can benefit from it, how it works, what types, what methods, times, and the pros and cons of it. Okay, we hope you enjoy this video. Talk to you guys soon.